stuff that was done to me was and is about the real assaults. This is a grass desk. I'm going to give you as a reference. People confuse assault and battery. All I'm going to point it out is this issue here. It's the issue which involved Slovenian judge, female judge, who arrived in our house in this kitchen here. It's a simple thing. The types of bodily harm must be differentiated. This is all discussed during MKOJ. They all discuss this stuff. The legal definition of assault and battery. That's all occurs when person purposely does some act that causes another person to fear. So that's an assault. That they will be physically hurt. No physical contact is necessary. So that's enough for the assault. Now, in this case, the unlawful touching or striking of another person is called a battery. It goes into classification of the battery. Battery, unlike assault, requires direct physical interaction. An assault causes fear and anxiety. And that's exactly the stuff I was talking to you in part number 1. That's a long video. I'm not going to be able to attach this to that video. Understanding the two means, understanding their charges and how they are prosecuted in legal context. From what it was discussed about this individual and what he alone negotiated with a female judge, that was a female judge, she had a straight hair, and this is the way it was during MKOJ. They got to meet before they signed up or wherever they signed up and got to negotiate literally already with the judges. So this has all the ingredients of most severe corruption case. Assault charges differ by region, incident, etc., etc. It was decided for him. This is what the female judge decided. The case will be with him. The fine, financial, the money, the cost for this assault battery incident would cost him a lot of money. They even talked about 500, 2,000 euros. And I told him, no, I don't want that to happen to him. This was actually what went on during MK Ultra. And the female judge became very sharp, very decided. That's exactly what the fine is. That's exactly what happens. Now, on the other hand, let me just say here, legal persecution punishments. Assaults are classified as a misdemeanor, and offenders might either pay fines, serve probation, that kind of stuff. Community service up to 30 days. Then you talk about the aggravated assault, which involves inflicting serious bodily harm, etc., etc. Is not. Battery is considered more serious than assault, and the penalties for each might be misdemeanors or felonies, depending on the particular circumstance of each case. Penalties might include large fines, probation, community service, or imprisonment. I understand he fell into this category. Then it was already other judges he was presented to, and eventually was even negotiating the stuff pertaining to the prison sentence. He had opportunity, from what I learned today. This wasn't about only bailing itself out of serious crimes committed through assault, through battery, but it appears to me that it was other crimes he was involved in that worried him much more than this. And that's how he got the opportunity to negotiate with other judges next to this judge. Now, this female judge, however, because these criminals mentioned her that other incidents I would be linked to, talking about this garbage here, suggested me that in a trial it will also be considered what makes the person go off. And that what they associated with other incidents with other criminals involved in MK Ultra. So overall, not even the outcome of the incidents, but they try to link my character to somebody who's a troublemaker, who's going around and is just making a trouble. That's all there is to it. That's important to stress. Second thing important to stress is I did not wave no hands today. I waved no hands today, nothing. Unlike with the guy on the bridge, I waved no hands. Yeah, it took about 30 minutes for the police to arrive. So the two were not very close. That might have been related also to a busy hours, day hours, a traffic commute. That may be another issue they wanted to stress. They was stressing that issue. Yet this is not the way to communicate also with for the police officers especially. The two guys were involved in this stuff, in this particular location, in this particular stuff that went on here. They were involved in this particular incident on more than 3 occasions. Both of them participated in this stuff on several occasions, and they were not always together. That's another issue. They were not always together. They were also with other police officers with whom they worked. That I also learned. They were not always together. They were together. The two appeared together really sometimes, I think like in 2014, like a team. Something like this, 2014, something like that, in that sense, 2015, 2016. The two continue to appear together as the police officers. Now, this is not the way to communicate with somebody like myself. Just as it happened during my visit to the police station, you attempted to interject 2 police officers based on my view. I know, you claim that to help me out, I have to identify your police officers, etc., etc. There is no help here. There never was any help, and this is also not to communicate with me. That's why, but yeah, the best policy when it comes to MK, I would advise anybody to point directly at the police officer for whatever it was during MK Ultra. Do not go around, do not do this, do not do that, because they don't play straight. They don't play straight. They play double-edged, double-sword scenario. Double-edged sword scenario. And they always play you down. They always chop you down. They always chop your rights. As your rights are cut off, they continue to play their double sword game. And for that type of game, there is only one way, basically. That's basically to strike right back. As soon as you see it, you stress all the issues pertaining to the certain incident. You don't play with the people like this. That's one thing I wanted to really stress about. Third thing, we did this one. Not a way to communicate. Hands, 30 minutes. I'm done. I don't have absolutely anything else I would say. This is just like a mini part number 2. What this is all about. What do they want from me? What exactly they were searching for when they created those incidents. I got an idea right now from this judge, female who was here. They were searching in who is causing the trouble, why you're causing the trouble, basically, in that sense, to present their case against me. They wanted to present the case against me based on chain of these crimes. It was based on the chain of these crimes. This is not designed for the isolated incidents, but for ongoing attacks with those whom they have signed the contract to do stuff like this. Obviously, to prove that something is wrong with me. The female judge suggested that this happened during the psychiatric hospitalization, sometimes in 2000 and this was ongoing stuff, really. (2014, 2015, 2016), that for me especially, it would be deadly. This judge, whoever this judge was an eye-opener for me today, because she made herself clear in front of these so-called police officers that for me, because of the psychiatric record on my file, it would be considered as a disease, as a mental illness. It would prove to be fatal for me. So this year, this year, I'm not going to go into it. You can probably feel these people destroyed me 53 years of life, 54 years of life. This is the scum, the filth that enforced crime, extermination procedure, extermination for no less than almost 54 years. These are the people who hired private citizens for crime and enforced the crime based on whatever they were managed to obtain from basically corruption. So you want to talk about the society. Society is a corruption. That's a society. The second word for the society is corruption. That's what started under Josip Broz Tito, and they were still not capable to finish this case, not even in 2025. 1971 it all started, in 1971, and they still push forward. The worst part about this procedure, and I'm really, really glad that this female judge was here, because she clarified about this stuff, the consequences this will have for me if I make mistakes and I'm proven wrong through the sequence of crimes against me. The worst thing I did in this case, and it was the same with every other crime that police managed to sign the contract, was to express compassion for the violators, for the criminals. This is something you never ever should have done during MK Ultra. Miran Sudin, Igor Juršić, garbage that was involved in this stuff, were with Robert Golob, Kuchan, extremely, extremely positive. You have no idea about the scum I am talking about in this case. They make you literally worry for the people, in a parenthesis, whom they present you as the people who will come to the rescue through assaults, literally through the batteries on you, for which every one of them could well cost your life. Never ever give the scum any kind of, oh yes, and express worry for them and stuff like this. This is not what you're supposed to do during MK Ultra. I made a lot of mistakes. I made all kinds of mistakes. I made crazy stuff. And it's exactly what they recorded. It's exactly what they wanted. That's the kind of stuff that they were using literally to present themselves throughout the case, a crime against me, a future crime against me, as a form of assistance. Never ever do such stupid stuff I did. I was so abused, so tortured that I did not discern the difference between attempts to get me killed and assistance. No, this is definitely not how you present your police officers. In fact, it's none of my business, this stuff. These are clearly attempts to kill somebody, you know? This isn't the way you present anyone. From what I recall, this male police officer, he does have siblings. I think he does have a siblings. I have to think about that stuff. Met him today, and so I thought very important to mention this stuff. The way a male police officer today suggested me, he said, what you're going to do is you're going to get your video, whatever you have, evidence, and you will deliver this to the police station of Novo Mesto, or you will send that by email. This individual not only knew about a crime which police committed, will commit, and what was committed on October the 30th, 2025, when they attempted to commit me to a psychiatric hospital. He knew all about it, but further also suggested me that's what this is all about. This incident is about these people inside of this bunker right there. He suggested me, and that's exactly what he will confirm. We'll do exactly the same thing with the guy who committed this assault battery on me today. Gesture him to gather evidence, videos, audio, that kind of stuff, and deliver that to the police station, based on which decision will be made. This is how they did this stuff. So yeah, no, there is nothing to appreciate about this kind of a police conduct. It's nothing other than organized crime. They also negotiated issue, or what the gesture could be, that both of you could be guilty of crime. That was another issue they discussed with the judges. Now I understand why he was yelling to me through the window when I was making a phone call to police. Supreme Court, Supreme Court, Supreme Court. I don't think it's going to be a Supreme Court. I think that these people, one of these days, are going to be dragged out of here. Literally dragged out of here. That's what I think.